Hi guys, I just wanted to give this simple, easy jumping tutorial. I think I'm going to aim this mostly towards postpartum women, but I think it can be used for anybody who is having any trouble with jumping, with pain, or they just can't seem to do it. But this is specifically for women who are struggling with leaking or prolapse or pain with trying to get back to some jumping. But the concepts are good for everyone, and I think they could help more people than we talk about. So a lot of times after childbirth, women tend to have like an elevated sternum because we're kind of used to standing back with our glutes like this. Now the issue with that is that it just doesn't, when we're jumping or we're doing any kind of exercise, we're not keeping this good core mechanism. So our core is really good when our pelvis is kind of, our sternum and our pelvis are kind of in line with our body, and then we can get good breathing mechanics. So we're breathing in and blowing out, which is much more basic than what I'm going to get into now, but I have posted other things about that in the past. So anyway, when we're jumping, we want to really make sure that we kind of keep our weight shifted kind of back off our heels and kind of a little bit even between our heels and our toes, so we're really stacked up. We don't want to jump like this. Now, a lot of people will start here, but as they jump, they'll pull this up, so it'll look kind of like this. And that really is not the most efficient way. And what happens when we're doing that is we're not getting good dispersion of pressure, of our breathing pressures and our stability, and our pelvic floor takes a lot more work. And if we start going higher intensity, it starts to give under the pressure. So it's not necessarily that it's weak and it doesn't necessarily need Kegels, it's just giving under the pressure, and we leak a little bit. And then also what happens here is we have to compensate by over recruiting our abdominals, and we'll get that prolapse, sorry, not the prolapse, the diastasis to bulge out. So it's a lot of pressure if we're dealing with prolapse issues. So before you try any jumping, make sure you've had a pelvic floor exam and that you're cleared and that you don't have anything major going on. I would also learn how to check your diastasis, which I can show in another video, because you want to make sure that that's not getting any worse with jumping. So if we've done all those things and you've cleared for jumping, just a disclaimer there, don't just go jumping if you've never jumped before, but if you're currently doing it and struggling with it, here's some tips. So what you want to do is start kind of stacked up. We want to make sure we're not holding our breath. We're not kegling through the whole exercise either. Right now I'm going to start with not even having anybody worry about a kegel. I just want you to work, because again, it's not that the pelvic floor isn't contracting, it might be over contracting. So we're just going to work on, when we breathe out, the pelvic floor contracts. When we breathe in, it relaxes. So we're going to work on our breathing. So we're going to try to work on breathing with every foot strike. So every time our foot hits the ground, we're going to blow out. So we're going to pelvis stacked up. We're going to try to keep that together. Breathe in, and then every time I jump, I'm going to blow out. I'm also going to try to land soft on my feet. So we don't want, hard. We want to land soft. Okay, so up towards our toes a little bit. So it's going to look like this. I like to do a couple breaths just to get me breathing good, and then quick feet, blowing out. If you absolutely feel like you need to Kegel during this, you would just Kegel as you hit the ground and then let go. But I think it's a better strategy just to give that hard blowout. And then let it go. And that way we're kind of cueing the pelvic floor to work and relax. You want it to work when we're hitting that high load of hitting, and relax as we jump, okay? That's a good, and you can add in jump roping with that. Just like that, just so you get the hang of it. But really watch, are you pulling that rib cage up? Now you can take that to more, if you want to do, that's a good way to start with repetitive style jumps, and you can go to like more one-legged and more bounding and skipping and all of that stuff using that strategy. If you want to do like box jumps where you're just doing like a one jump, what I usually have people do is learn how to land first. So we're still going to try to keep that stacked pelvis. A lot of people will land, and on the land they'll go up. So when you land, so I just have people maybe even just start with kind of stepping down or a small hop down and work on landing on the toes, soft landing, and sinking into it. So I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to blow out as I jump. Nice soft landing. I didn't pull up from my pelvis, just keeping that nice and tight. Okay, that's going to really help that pelvic floor in there. So breathe in. I'm all stacked up. Weights even between my heels and my toes. Nice breath in. That was a little hard landing. Did you hear it? Probably because I was talking a good bit and not working on my breathing. Okay, so you can start there and then progress to jumping up with the same strategy. So here, nice, solid, breathe in, blow out. Like I said, I like sometimes a couple breaths just to get me going. Start low. This is a low. You know, we don't need to be jumping real high, especially in the beginning. Real soft landing. You hear how I didn't, you know, that was real. So blow out. And I land soft. Weight towards my toes. And then I sink into it just to absorb. That's for just like a 1 repetition jump that you're doing, like a box jump. You can even take that from, I like to go to a 2 to 1. So, and try to stick it and get your balance. Not my best jump there. Okay, so there's some ideas to try to help get you working on jumping if you want a more high intense workout. Don't go crazy with this. You know, you shouldn't be doing, if you're doing repetitive jumps like these, you know, starting out, we don't want more than 80 foot contacts in any one session. You're not doing them every day. If you start to see that you want to be quick. So if you start to see that you're getting real slow, that's not good. Quick. It's quick. When you can't go quick, stop. When you lose technique, stop. If you start to leak, if you start to pull up, stop. That's your starting point. Build from there. Don't progress into those. Okay? I hope this helps getting some people starting with some jumping stuff.